Howdy, y'all. Goose Father here. Just wanted to give you a quick update from what we learned from our day one of limit testing. We've played through a bunch of the new items, was kind of more aggressively focusing on checking all the encounters, trying out the new monster changes, getting a feel of those kind of things so we could have a lot of good information for you for tomorrow's stream. I wanted to tell you some of the findings that we had that were kind of non-intuitive, as well as tell you the build that I accidentally stumbled into while I was doing this that was just unbelievably busted. I was trying to just go to day 7 to get a couple of the new encounters. I was planning on losing all the way, and then I accidentally stumbled into a day 14 10 win run where I was immortal. So that's coming. That's fun. But starting off, Mountain Pass kind of works a little bit the way we thought it would. Your good outcomes. So obviously there's a 25% chance that you're going to get the monster fight from today, and a 25% chance that you're going to get the monster fight from tomorrow. The 40% chance of a good outcome is actually those top right encounter outcomes, like gain max health, gain regen equal to the day, get loot items, gain income, those kind of things. So it appears to be those. I haven't found them all yet, but those seem to be kind of what the themes are. So we haven't gotten an item yet, but we have gotten loot, we have gotten regen, income, etc. The bout outcomes seem to be, there's a lost amount of hit points. We haven't verified the percentage, but I think it's about 2%. There's a start of combat poison use skill that you could get, which might actually be good on Mac. There's a start of combat burn yourself skill that you can get. Again, the chat helped me out find some of these, so I didn't actually test them myself, so I don't have the exact numbers. So those are all things about the Mountain Pass encounter. I think it's the downsides are deeply survivable. They're not really hard, and a 50% chance of having like the extra XP is still, I think it's still one of the most must-click encounters of the game. I think this doesn't change anything about it. It just simplifies, doesn't give you a choice, just gives you what it gives you. So that's great. The regen skills have a busted mechanic. That's just like wrong and probably needs to be hot fixed. They give flat regen to your rightmost item, like 2 regen to your rightmost, 2 regen to your leftmost, 1 regen to all of your regen items. This does not sound like much because it's not much. It's normally wouldn't matter, except it's applying to our loot items for no good reason. So loot items that give regen are now, like, if it would normally give 2 and you have +2 to your rightmost, it's giving you 4 permanent regen by casting it. It sounds interesting, but not super broken until Walter immediately pointed out that Tropical Island, which will constantly give you regen items, would be constant doubling or more than that if you can upgrade the skill, regen every single time you do it. So I'm not sure how completely broken that is, or what, but it is like you get to free scale those off of a skill, which seems not intuitive. Health doesn't do that, right? You have give your rightmost health skill or leftmost health skill, and it does not give the loot health item more health to stack on the thing you sell it on. So it's it seems to be an unintended consequent mechanic. Kukri scales better now as you do as you do damage to it, but it said that the flat damage was the same as before, 5 at silver, 10 at bronze, or 5 at bronze, 10 at silver, etc., etc. That's wrong. It's actually just 15 flat no matter what the level, and just the scaling gets better. So that is listed incorrectly in the patch notes. The same thing goes for golf clubs. Golf clubs no longer scales. Its flat is much higher than the bronze, so even at bronze it starts up higher, and then at diamond doesn't go higher. It's just flat all the way across the board at 50, which makes it very, very strong, makes both of them very, very strong day one. And we tested the interaction with Bird. Bird does give double the scaling because it has both a heal and a regen tick. That is a very strong early game mechanic. It is incredibly strong, especially when you start adding properties to the mix. So you start getting triple cast on Bird, each one of those casts giving 20, at silver of the kukri or the whatever, giving yourself like 10 per tick of the cast. Anyway, So you could get like 60 flat damage every single time your bird goes off, right? Your bird swings 3 times, you get 60 flat on those 2 weapons. So that scales really hard and is very, very strong. Another one, we'll go into it in the video, but from the beginning to the end of the game, lemonade stands busted. Scale your hit points, use lemonade stand. The run we're going to show you, or just the very end of the run we're going to show you, I was, again, limit testing. I was not trying to do anything to this build. I was not buying and selling small items. I was not scaling. I had a golden cash register in my stash that I didn't bother clearing enough space to catch the coins for 4 consecutive days. I was playing the worst game of my life because I was trying not to pay attention to it, and we still got completely immortal. This build is absolutely busted. Will probably need to be nerfed into the ground. We'll look at it. There's a couple of things you need about it. We'll talk through it as we're watching the fight. Thieves Guild has reverted. It's no longer bronze coins and items anymore. So Thieves Guild is worth going to. It's a lot of money all over again. So you go there, you get like 50 gold. It's totally busted. Yeah, lemonade stand is broken. You might notice that Lost Crate now gives bronze on day 1. It's part of what appears to be a package change to all of the get a free items, that they now kind of follow the tier scaling of the vendors. So if you go to a vendor, you're able to get silver on day 2, though it feels slightly rare, and then more common, and then very common, right? And then day 5, you're able to get gold, etc. That seems to be all of the get an items follow that now. So not only are you getting guaranteed bronze from Lost Crate on day 1, you can't get silver from it anymore. You could start getting silver around day 2, and then it can scale up from there. But things like docks are no longer fixed at bronze anymore. Docks will also, on day 3, for example, will give you silver. We got a gold item out of Lost Crate on day 5. Lost Crate can go to day 5. I don't remember getting it that late in the past. Maybe I'm just forgetting there, but so you get Lost Crate later, and then you're going to start being able to get gold and diamond items from your docks, which means it changes the math on how many like property items and whatnot are available from the shield encounter. That goes up, so that becomes a little bit better for us, as well as just being able to get better items that functionally play on your board. All of those get a free items are much more powerful now because they scale with the day. So that's very important. And yeah, I think that was it for the major things that we cover, or that we found out so far. If you guys have any, please throw them in the notes below, or go to the Discord. Again, the link to the Discord is in the notes below. And just like throw them up over there for us. We're going to compile them all. We're going to go over anything new that we found by tomorrow on tomorrow's stream. But for your viewing pleasure at home, sorry about that. Let me see if I can pull up the video. I give you this run. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera so we could just watch past John here. Broken build, so I can make the broken build video game. We're going to mute him. Even though that's where we are. Wait, how do I mute him? So, yeah. I don't know. We're going to listen to him. You know, 3 more seconds left. He loses. The thing is, okay. So what's happening here is tense is gravy, right? Tense is gravy. Wasn't necessary, particular to the build. Oh man, I went back way too far. I'm super sorry, you guys. Here we go. I just wanted one that we could see a little bit more clearly. So the build is lemonade stand. And lemonade stand at silver is good enough. All it does is you scale it up is that it gets more hit points when you sell small items, but the actual regen effect is 5% of your flat health period, end of story, the whole time. So you get lemonade stand and it gives you a lot of regen compared to the day in the early game, and is just very, very strong. You get belt and suddenly like it's a little bit oppressive all the way up until day 5, day 6, then your opponent can start out scaling it. But if at any point you get yourself a hogwash, and then you now can throw bird in the mix. Now the regen cast and the bird cast are all buying you hit points. So you're getting more and more hit points. So every cast of your lemonade stand that you get is going to go, it's going to scale. So you have lots of in combat scaling on that regen. Not to mention, you now have more and more hit points to regen into. So rather than just having the buffer that you'll have in the early days, like day 5, day 6 with Lemonade Stand, where you just keep healing up during the sandstorm and they don't, and so you win. Now you're just building and healing into a much, much bigger health pool. We end this fight somewhere around 20,000 hit points. Shield is a broken enchant on Hogwash because Hogwash is a when you heal, but there's almost every enchant on Hogwash is particularly good. If you got a poison on it, if you get a damage enchant on anything, you're home, because this build stalls well enough. The only thing it's going to lose to is a one shot before your stuff swings, or a perma freeze board that gets off before anything swings. We got one swing of Lemonade Stand against a very aggressive perma freeze board, and it kind of barely killed us before the end of the fight. Was the one loss we had on this later. And so if you get Radiant on any of your items, especially if you have like shield on your Hogwash, then even a Radiant bird is going to be able to keep pumping your shield up. Like, you would get that much shield every time you heal. So shield is completely busted on Hogwash in this particular combination. That's very, very strong. All of the heal automatically works as counter to poison and burn by reducing it by 10%. So bird in this particular setup, since it's getting multicast from tents and it's getting one from each one of the properties, is actually not only healing 5 times, being 5 triggers of Hogwash, but is also functioning as an ointment because it's doing 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 percent reduction to their poison and burn. So this obviously is, I think, kind of one of the nuts version of the combo, but really the two things you want together is your Lemonade Stand and your Hogwash, and then find fast heals whenever you can, like bird, etc. You could run belt on this board very easily until you got the tents, if you ever found the tents. You could run a lot of other stuff in the flex spot. You could find something that's actually going to do damage that maybe you could just stall for. A bonk, a double whammy would go really well into this setup, where you're just healing until the whammy goes off and you're buying the hit points that's increasing the scaling of whammy's damage as you go. So just those couple of items, your Lemonade Stand, your bird, and your Hogwash. Hogwash, any one of the damage enchants or shields is a GG. Slow and haste and all that kind of stuff, I think, are actually procs when it swings, not when you heal, so those aren't as powerful. But also any poison or whatever enchant on your Lemonade Stand, since it is also scaling in damage, is GG. Or if you got tents, any damage enchant on your tents is also a good game. So one of the things you can do is get any large item. Like if you see a large bob, a large bonk, a large whatever that has an obsidian enchant from Isla, you buy it no matter what. You would do that anyway. And then you start leveling it up and re-rolling it, right? And if you hit any one of these 3, that's your item. You could also just obviously grab, get enchants when you get enchants on stuff. You could get a fixer early and start re-rolling into these things. Yeah. Any of those things are great. If you saw a shielded item from Kev, you would try to re-roll that into your Hogwash, all that kind of stuff to get this set up. But generically speaking, Lemonade Stand on its own is deeply overpowered right now. The amount of regen per the day is usually pretty busted in the very early game, and then you just have a lot of gimmicks that you can put on it. So I think this one's probably going to be around for 2 days, so play it while it lasts, enjoy it. It does have the downside of having the longest games in human history, because until you get a damage enchant on one of these items, you win in the sandstorm. And if you go up against the mirror, which we did, it becomes a 3-minute and 30-second fight as you wait for the sandstorm to time out, because you're both unkillable. So beware. These are not the shortest games in the world, but they are pretty fun and they are pretty powerful. So just wanted to give you that, as well as all the other information that we found out so far. Hope you guys are having fun. If you guys have any new information, please go ahead and throw it up on the Discord. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow at 7, 8. Nope. Sorry, tomorrow at 2 a.m. I am so tired, you guys. You don't even understand. I skipped a lot of sleep to do this testing. I'm sorry. 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 10 a.m. GMT to 2 p.m. GMT, if that is easier for you to convert. So hope to see you guys then. Thanks so much.